Hello, welcome to Masha Talks. I am back in my homeland, in my motherland of Ireland. I'm back in Dublin. Germany was fun, but now I'm back. So, it's that time of year where I always get to thinking, because it's Christmas time. It's Christmas time! This year hasn't felt very Christmassy because we haven't even set up our Christmas tree yet, which I'm gonna get to. And we're gonna discuss this. Basically, at this time of year, I always think about gender roles in society and about how women are expected to make Christmas happen. Yay! What a fun topic. Okay, let's be the Grinch. Now, I don't mean to make this video very like preachy and bitchy and Christmas sucks, I hate Christmas. But I do always have this thought when it comes to holidays or celebrations, how it's always the woman's role. So I decided to title this video, "The Holidays Are Labor for Women." Because as unceremonious and as unfestive as that sounds, it's honestly true. And I always think about it this time of year because it's always very pertinent and prominent. I don't know if pertinent goes in that sentence. I'm gonna search it up later. I'm gonna use a lot of personal anecdotes for this, but I'm not shitting on my family. I love my family, but I would just say they're a very typical heterosexual parental couple. So I'd say these patterns are repeated for a lot of people. So my parents are not like outliers. I'd say they're the average norm, which isn't good, and I want to discuss this. But I'm not shitting on my parents or anyone. I'm just talking from personal experience. So growing up, I always had this feeling that my mom was solely responsible for the holiday magic. She would be the one who would take the initiative to set up the Christmas tree. She would go out of her way to buy beautiful Christmas bubbles and Christmas decorations. She would be the one who hung up the, we have these sticky pionkas that you put onto the windows, like Christmas designs and stuff. Anyway, this kind of kahunga that is around Christmas, you know, the festivities and decorations and the celebrations, someone has to do all of that. And it would be my mom. As I've aged, I mean, I'm fucking 20 now, and since I've grown up and my parents have aged, it's a bit exhausting to do all of these manual tasks because it's a lot of work. I mean, we store all our Christmas decorations in our attic, and our attic is not very big. It's a bungalow, so it's like sloped. It's not even meant to be an attic. But I mean, you have to crawl through like this crawl space to get our Christmas tree. It's a lot of labor. And if my mom doesn't do it, my dad's not gonna do it. So the responsibility falls on me, the second woman of the household. So if I don't set up the Christmas tree, if I don't put up the decorations, it doesn't happen. Which is kind of what's happening this year. I'm not protesting or anything. I just got back from Germany and I honestly can't be arsed. So this is where we're at. There's always this festive sentiment that my mom would implement into the household, and I know this is the norm for most people out there. Sure, maybe your father would buy the Christmas, if you buy an actual Christmas tree, but I feel like it's always been the woman's role to make the house decorative and festive, and I'm not saying that this is the way it should be, but this is the way it has been. So in that way, it is a woman's responsibility to make this Christmas spirit, as we like to call it. Let's talk about presents. I think this is a common occurrence in many households where the woman, the mother, buys all the Christmas presents for everybody, including their partner's in-laws, which I think is just so unfair of an expectation, because how is she supposed to know what your partner's mother would like when this is your mother? And I think this is unfair, but it's always like that. It's always the woman going out to the shop and using her mental capacity and mental energy to make lists, think of who she loves, think of who her partner loves, what they're gonna like, what she should buy. It's stored in her head, and she's always the one making the list and going out and actually buying all these presents. I rarely see this happening from the male perspective. I just think presents are almost a gendered thing. It's expected of the woman to buy gifts for everybody. And obviously that's a huge part of Christmas. Like growing up, that was the only part I cared about. If there's no presents, then there's no Christmas, and there's no decorations, and there's no Christmas. Who's responsible for all this? The woman. So it's just like added labor, added mental load onto the woman's life, which I don't think is evenly distributed between men and women. I also remember many times growing up where my mom knew exactly what I liked, she knew exactly what I wanted, and she would buy this for me, or she would ask me, or she would figure out secretly what I wanted, what I liked, and my father wouldn't make the same effort. He kind of delegated this responsibility to the mom. Again, not shitting on anybody, but this is just the way it kind of is. It just seems kind of unfair, and then when you're there on Christmas Day opening your presents, your dad doesn't even know what he got you because his wife has done all the shopping, all the work. So he's just kind of like, yeah, from Santa Claus, and it's a surprise for him too. Which I think is unfair, because the father should also have an interest in the child's likes and the child's interests. Now let's talk about the big kahunga, which is obviously the Christmas meal, which traditionally and misogynistically is always the woman's duty. They always have to make the grocery list and the shopping list for what needs to be bought, which is a lot of work because, you know, Christmas dinners are absolutely humongous and they need to be prepped in advance. So you have to make an enormous list all the dishes that you're going to make, remember them, buy all the produce, and then on Christmas Day you have to slave away making all these food. And I'd say Christmas is a very food-centered holiday, as most are. I think most holidays are food-centered, because food is one of the greatest things in the world. Every year I look forward to a good, delicious Christmas dinner. But who makes that Christmas dinner? Majority of the time it's the woman. That responsibility has fallen on me, but that's just because my parents are elderly and they don't have the energy to do that kind of stuff, which is okay. I love cooking, so I'll make Christmas dinner happily. I don't want, when I'm older, for that to be my sole responsibility, this humongous pressure and effort to be on one person to make Christmas dinner. I don't think it's right, and you always see this image of the woman slaving away in the kitchen. Like, there's been so many funny memes I've seen on like Instagram of the woman slaving away in the kitchen, getting really stressed out and yelling at their kids. Like, it's funny, but it's not funny, haha. It's funny because they're fucking stressed out because no one's helping them, and the men are sitting there lounging, drinking their beer, watching TV or watching the news. And it's just such a common image that it's almost normal, but it's fucking not, because who set up that standard? Why is that the norm? I just don't understand. It just makes no fucking sense. Like, why would you expect one person or like one gender to solely cater for the entire family when it comes to the food? I think this should be a collective effort. And I'll give some props to my family. Growing up, my father would actually be the one who made the chicken or the turkey, and then my mom would like make some side salads, and then me and my brother would help cook as well. So it would like be like a whole family, like everybody's in the kitchen, everybody's cooking, which I think is honestly the way that it should be. Isn't that what Christmas is all about? Being together. Isn't that what holidays is about? Spending time with your family, you know? And I think these activities that make Christmas or make holidays special should be done communally instead of expected from one person. So it's the woman's labor that makes the holiday special, and the men can just fucking show up and eat their food and have a good time. But for the woman, it's an entire ordeal, it's an entire responsibility. It's not a holiday, it's work, basically. So I suppose I would like to propose a reinvented tradition where, honestly, I think it should be the opposite way around. So for holidays and celebrations, I think that the men should be the ones cooking and cleaning and catering for the whole family. Because if you think about it, in like a typical heterosexual family dynamic, the man works, the woman stays at home with the kids. This is like purely traditional or old-fashioned. I know most women work nowadays because it's 2025, but let's just say, hypothetically speaking. And then the men, they use this excuse that, oh, you know, like, I can't cook, I can't clean because I'm working and I'm providing for the household by earning the money. So this is the woman's job. So technically, if you're on holidays and you're off work, what's your excuse? Because you're off work, you know? Like, oh, I'm off work, this is my one chance to relax. But what about the woman? She works a job that is fit for 5 people. She's a chef, she is a driver, she is a cleaner, takes care of the kids. She organizes for the entire household, she plans everything. So she doesn't get a break because this is a full-time job. There's no break from the kids because they're constantly there. Once the men are off work, they should take over the holiday responsibility because the women don't get a break, so they should give the woman a break. So I'd love to see an image of the woman sitting down, watching the news or something interesting and drinking cocktails while the men sleep away in the kitchen. I just want to see something reversed, like a reversed gender dynamic, just once. Just for one traditional holiday. I mean, I can't even think of one where it's flipped. So I think 2025 onwards, we should make this effort to flip it around. And I know we can talk about equality and like what I mentioned with my family, everybody should be involved equally. Yeah, that's all good and dandy. But I think just one holiday should have a reversed gender dynamic where the woman can relax, kick their feet up, and the men do all the labor and all the hard work and all the organizing and planning, because I can't even think of one where it's the men's responsibility. And I know that's just because we live in a sexist, patriarchal society, deeply rooted in misogyny, but I want to change. I'm sick of seeing these dynamics every holiday, you know, the women's dressing, what to buy for everybody for Christmas. I just want a shared mental load. I don't want it to be solely a woman's responsibility. Now, this video has no research or no real point. It's just me rambling on about Christmas time because it's just what I'm thinking of. But yeah, that's my ramble and rant of the day. If you're new, welcome to Masha Talks. I don't have a niche in YouTube. I just kind of make whatever the fuck I want, which is obviously why I'm not doing so well. If you liked the video, please like! And if you didn't, I'm just gonna assume that you're a sexist. Yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye! Help your family out this Christmas. Do the dishes. Make the food. Hang up the Christmas trees, especially if you're a man. Okay? You need to help the woman out. No help. You need to do the work. You need to take responsibility. You need to take control. Okay? If you're the man of the household, do the job. Do it. Sort it. Figure it out. Okay. That's really aggressive, but bye!